There's a shadow financial system being built right now, out of sight. Some call it the future of money. Others call it a digital Wild West. It's called DeFi, and it promises to change everything. But is it a true revolution, or is it all just an elaborate ruse? The answer begins with a question that should terrify every bank on the planet. I mean, really think about it. What if you could just fire your bank? No more asking for permission to use your own money, no more waiting days for a transaction. Well, the supporters of DeFi say they've already built this new world. And it's not based on trust or people or regulations. It's built on pure unbreakable code. The believers, well, they paint this incredible picture. They call it the true freedom of payments. It's a world where you, and only you, are in complete control. There are no middlemen, no gatekeepers. It sounds almost perfect, doesn't it? But for every person who sees a utopia, there's another who sees a complete and utter nightmare. Yeah, because not everyone is buying the dream. Critics, especially from the heart of traditional finance, have a much, much harsher take. One skeptic put it bluntly, it is complete nonsense. And that's the core of the battle we're exploring today. The dream of total financial freedom versus the charge that it's all just a fragile house of cards waiting to collapse. Okay, so let's start with that utopian promise. What's the big idea? At its heart, DeFi is designed to be a direct challenge to the old guard. It's a financial system supposedly built from scratch for you, the individual, not for the giant institutions that have held the keys for centuries. Let's break down the difference. The old world, that's a closed system. You need permission to play. DeFi, it's wide open. Anyone can join. Instead of institutions controlling everything, you're in control. And that slow, rigid system we all know, DeFi promises to be fast, flexible, and totally transparent because the rules are just written in code. It really all boils down to these four things. Non-custodial? That just means it's your money. No one can freeze it or take it. Permissionless? Anyone with an idea can build a new financial product. No asking for a license. And then there's composability. A lot of people call this money Legos. And this is the real magic. It means developers can snap together different financial apps like Lego blocks to create brand new things, instantly. Okay, that all sounds pretty incredible. But with all that freedom comes a really, really dark side. Because for every story of innovation, there's a horror story of someone losing everything. This is the Wild West reality. And you have to ask, is this a financial revolution or just a brand new playground for scammers? This is the knockout punch from the critics. They say DeFi isn't some revolutionary new system. Nope, it's just banking with no regulations. All that freedom and openness they talk about, to a skeptic, that's not a feature. It's a giant, gaping loophole for criminals and scammers to exploit before the whole thing gets shut down. And the critics don't stop there. They say the core promises are plain, simple lies. For the unbanked, they say it's way too complicated. No fees? What about the hidden gas fees that can sometimes cost more than the transaction itself? A fair market? Not when giant whale investors can move prices with a single trade. And those so-called risk-free loans? Well, they call that a complete fantasy. And this isn't just talk. The price tag for this experiment is absolutely staggering. Get this. According to data tracked by projects inside the crypto world, over $77 billion have been lost to hacks and exploits. That's not just a number on a screen. That's real people, real families, losing their life savings in a system with zero safety nets. And see, this is what the DeFi dream conveniently leaves out. You know all those annoying rules and paperwork at a normal bank? Well, they exist for a reason. Things like know your customer and anti-money laundering, they aren't just red tape. They are hugely expensive shields that are built to protect you from fraud and crime. DeFi, in its purest form, just throws all of that out the window. But the story doesn't just end in chaos. Because faced with these massive losses, the ecosystem is starting to evolve. It's fighting back. It's building its own police force, a new wave of DeFi sheriffs who are trying to tame the Wild West and make it safe. And one of the key tools they're building is something called a Web3 antivirus. The easiest way to think about it is like Norton or McAfee, but for your crypto wallet. These tools scan the code behind a financial product for traps, and they let you revoke risky permissions before your funds get stolen. They're basically trying to stop the robbery before it even happens. And this isn't just theory, it's happening right now. You have entire companies building what's basically a digital immune system for your money. Scanners that are constantly auditing millions of projects looking for risks. Shields that let you instantly kick out anything that looks suspicious in your wallet. And dashboards that actually help you make sense of it all. It's like the system is finally learning how to protect itself.
So, is anyone actually using this stuff? Oh yeah. The numbers are pretty clear. Millions of users are signing up. Thousands of scams have been stopped in their tracks. But look at this last number. Over $1 billion in user funds have been saved. That shows you there is a massive hunger for safety, even in a world that was born from an idea of radical, unregulated freedom.
So all of this leads to the final showdown. This is the big conflict that's going to decide the future of money. Will DeFi's wild, revolutionary spirit win out, or will it be tamed and swallowed by the very system it was trying to kill? The skeptics think they know exactly how this movie ends. First, you get the boom, this wild, unregulated gold rush we're in now. Next comes the regulation, as governments inevitably step in to stop the chaos. And finally, they predict centralization. DeFi will be forced to adopt all the same rules and costs as a normal bank. And just like that, the revolution is over. So we're left standing at a fork in the road, with two very different futures ahead of us. On one path, you have the original DeFi dream, a totally open, global financial system run by nobody but code. And on the other path, you have a tamer reality, where this so-called revolution just becomes another product sold by the same banks it promised to make obsolete. And that leaves us with the one final question that matters more than any other. When it comes to the future of money, who do you want holding the keys? Will it be you, the individual, empowered by this new wave of decentralized code? Or will it be the same old institutions using new technology to hold on to their power? That is the multi-trillion-dollar question, and the answer is still being written.